Hello and welcome to the Nerds at Large spoiler cast for Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7. I am one of your hosts, Darby Hellman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And this is your first and final warning. All spoilers for Episode 7 of Season 7, the grand finale.
Actually, just to let you know, we're going to have spoilers for seasons 1 through 7 of Game of Thrones.
We are actually. We're not going to try to, skirt around Season 1 spoilers. It's all on the table here.
Yep. Ned Stark dies.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. He does. Jeff,
Darby.
This series will never stop confusing me this season, because this season has had some of my least favorite episodes of this entire show. But holy crap, this finale was insane.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of went back to the Game of Thrones writing, the writing that I expect from Game of Thrones, and it felt like the type of plot choices and especially dialogue choices and everything that we came to love back in the day. And like, it was exciting. The entire time I was just engrossed in everything that was going on. What do you think about this, Jeff?
Pretty much agree. It even has the Game of Thrones feeling. I was like, is someone gonna die here?
Yeah.
And in some cases, yes.
Yeah. In some cases, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. We went back to normal Season 7 stuff.
At the very end for a little bit. And it's not 100%, but I'm guessing since we did not see Tormund like fall off of the mountain, the wall in a
or burning alive.
very gruesome way, I'm gonna take a guess that he was in that one part of the wall they decided to leave up.
Yeah.
But besides that, this episode really felt like there was it felt like this is what everything has been building up to. Even I was telling Jeff immediately after we saw the episode, I really am not crazy about the way that we got here in Season 7. There were some jumps in logic, there was some just cheesy writing, some convenient writing, and I don't really like the path we took, but I loved where we ended up here.
Yeah, people have listened to all our spoiler guys. We pretty much have said for the most part, we're fine with the general idea of the way the story took. We was always like, the way they did it, though.
Yeah, it was the plot points and where we would end at every episode. I'm like, I kind of like this, but it was, you couldn't help. It was nagging on you, some of the jumps in logic to get there. But there was a lot of characters meeting this episode that have never met before, and I feel like it was the culmination of us waiting for this for 7 seasons, and they didn't disappoint to me. I thought Cersei and Jon and Daenerys, all of their these powerful people, all the interactions, and especially Peter Dinklage with Tyrion, I feel like the acting all the way around was excellent. Especially from, I think, a shout out to Lena Headey in this episode.
Always.
Always. But she played that perfectly, because I never really knew what she was going to do next with a lot of stuff. And I never knew if to take her word for things or what she's plotting behind the scenes, what she's doing there, whatever. And Peter Dinklage. I think that scene between them is one of my favorite scenes in a long time.
I agree. Felt good.
There was so much emotion and so much weight on that. That, this episode really relied hard on what the series is set up. There was even times where no one was saying anything to each other. Just as Cersei was walking up to where Dany and all of them, just Cersei staring at Tyrion, and Theon staring at Euron, and then the Hound with the mountain. There's a lot of things, even just so subtle, but it it felt heavy.
Okay, real quick though, I'm surprised the way the Hound was able to recognize the mountain right away. I know he's big and stuff, and that stands out, but
yeah. This is maybe a little weird.
Yeah,
that he just immediately did. I guess maybe he could have heard about it, but he definitely didn't seem like it was something he knew. It seemed like it was more of a spontaneous.
That was I guess the only thing I can remember that I felt a little weird to me. It's how can you recognize him right away? I guess you can say is how big he is, but
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree it's weird, but I can kind of make myself buy it. I mean, the mountain is the tallest dude.
I mean, it bothered me for like 2 seconds, like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the mountain is the tallest man in Westeros. So it could at least be enough to where he's like, is that? And he walks forward, and the closer he gets, he might have been able to, like, look and see in his eyes or something. Either way, I don't know. We should probably, like, I'm sure we're going to be talking about this episode for a while, so we should probably get into it. I could sit here and ramble on about how much I love this forever, and I will probably watch this again this week. Like, I'm so...
This is all you have for at least a year.
Potentially 2.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about... I'm sorry, let me get our notes together.
We're professional here, folks.
Very professional.
Yes.
All right, Jeffrey, let's get into it. I think the biggest topic, like, to go right into is this meeting between them. So, right off on a lighter note, we had Podrick, Tyrion, and Bronn.
Yes.
The dream team.
Yes, the dream team.
Reunited at last, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, they're all, like, true to their characters, I feel. Bronn being, like... Yeah, I'm bringing her enemies or whatever, and like doing all this is like, if that's not looking out for myself, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
and then Tyrion's like, even though like he's basically telling Tyrion, yeah, I might be leading you to a trap. Tyrion's just like, never change, Bronn.
Yeah, I miss you, buddy.
Like, and I love their relationship where it's like, and that dates back to like when Tyrion needed someone to fight in the mountain, like in Trial by Combat, and he asked Bronn, and Bronn's like, "Look, I like you, man, but
I like me more."
Yeah, I like me more, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And I've always respected that Bronn's not this like typical hero. Like I think him and Tyrion obviously like each other, but it's like no.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Bronn is out for him, and I feel like that's realistic, and I've always liked that kind of mutual respect that they have for each other, and I felt like that, they exemplified there. And then Podrick is just basically like the prodigy of both of them.
Yep,
it's just like the guy they're bringing it together, and it was like really cool to see them. And Tyrion even saying, like, Podrick saying, "I never thought I'd see you again." Tyrion's like fighting for the enemy, no less.
Yeah.
And it was just good. It was really good to see those again. I don't know. Did you agree?
I agree. The whole enemy thing's like, wait, they're kind of on the same side now.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, like...
okay, I will say this.
Podrick wouldn't know, potentially, how allied, like, the North and, Dany is.
Well, but Tyrion said the whole fighting for the enemy thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyrion may not know that
Podrick
is technically with the North now.
Yeah, I mean, either way, they're technically enemies, but either way, but...
No, they're not. I mean...
In Brienne and Podrick don't know. Like, exactly,
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's one of those things, like, they're technically on the same side now. I guess they may not know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's...
Well, then again, I guess maybe Jon didn't tell anyone until he made his statement.
Well, I mean, like, Sansa found out this episode that he, like, swore fealty to.
Yeah, but Jon was with Tyrion and Daenerys, so they could have... I mean, that's something they told him.
I don't know. Whatever. Let's not drown. We've already droned on this too long. But it was a good interaction.
Yeah.
Regardless of any of that. Mm-hmm. Also, another, like, interaction with this, like, just walking... This, like, them walking up to the dragon pit, or wherever they were, was the Hound and Brienne talking about Arya. I thought this was, like, it was almost like... It was almost like they're like a mom and dad talking about their daughter. That's almost what it felt like, which was very, like, strange but heartwarming at the same time. And to hear the Hound, like, directly say, like, that he was trying to, like, look after her.
Well, quick note. As long as the Hound's still with Jon, that means the Hound is going to Winterfell.
Yeah, so
we should get Arya Hound
at
the beginning of Season 8.
Which I'm very much looking forward to that.
A year from now.
Much. Yeah. I've loved, like, the Hound is one of my favorite characters, and his arc has been one of my favorites of how, really, the entire time, he's actually been a good dude. He's actually a better guy than most people. He doesn't show it outwardly. Yeah. And he's just been, like, a monster because of circumstance, basically. He's just been allied to very bad people a lot because he basically had to be. So... it's really cool to finally see him, and it makes sense to me that like him and Brienne wouldn't hold any grudges on each other either. Yeah. In the end, they said they were both kind of after the same thing, trying to protect Arya
in different ways.
Yep. So that was really good interaction. I like that a lot. I don't. We put these like these notes together like right before. I don't remember any other conversations going up. I'm sure there's one we're missing.
Yeah, but
I don't really remember them. But I did like that whole like it was a really like beautiful shot like of them walking down the road with the thing, and I liked the Hound like talking to the guy like. He's like, what's in that thing? He's like, F off.
Yeah.
And he's like, if anyone touches it, I'll kill you first. And I just love the Hound. The Hound is just the best.
Indeed.
But anyway, they finally get there.
Yep. Immediately get there when everyone sits down. Cersei shows up. Hound goes up to her front and be like, yo, you're ugly now. You're uglier than you were before.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying, we'll finish this later.
Yeah, so, like, we thought there might be a chance for Clegane Bowl because they were both going to be in the same place. Instead, we kind of just got a tease of it. But it's looking, after this episode, it's looking way more likely than, like, for a while I thought.
Obviously they've teased it throughout this whole show, but, you know, when Hound went off to do his own thing, it's like, okay, they're going away from it, and at the moment, it makes sense that it doesn't happen.
Well, just from a practical standpoint, it was like, how could it happen? Like,
but now it's
now there's a lot more, like because all the pieces are more like together now, so there's a lot more of a chance. Again, I still don't completely know how it'll end up happening now, but I could see it. Like there'll be something.
Technically on different sides.
Yeah, still. I mean, like maybe after, like, because at some point, obviously, Jon and everyone's gonna have to deal with Cersei.
Yeah,
because Cersei's obviously not playing along, even though she said she would.
She's a liar.
I
like Jon.
She's Cersei. Yeah, it is. I do like the like kind of. We're jumping around a lot, but a tangent. But I do like the juxtaposition between like Jon, who tells the truth to a fault, and then Cersei, who is just a compulsive liar to a fault. You know,
really good at it.
Yeah. Whereas, like Jamie was saying, like, if you lie to them, they're going to kill you. Like, this is not going to end well for you. And all that. But anyway, going on with this, I'm interested to see what you thought. Like, whenever they all got there, and, like, Cersei wasn't there yet, and they were just kind of, like, staring at each other and looking around, like, oh boy, like, I did start to get worried. I was like, why isn't Cersei there? Remember the last time that a bunch of characters we know got together and Cersei wasn't there? The sept blew up.
Yeah, and I was a little scared because when Bronn took Podrick away.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what's going on here?
They're lingering on the shot of him going going through the door.
It seemed weird. It was like, this is Yeah. So that didn't necessarily need to happen. This seems strange.
Yeah.
It was Bronn just like, I like you, buddy. I'm gonna save you from whatever Cersei's about to do. Yeah.
You're an impressionable little guy.
Bronn probably doesn't know what Cersei's planning. That might have been what he was doing anyway. He might not have known. He'd been like, just in case this gets ugly, I'm gonna take you out of this.
You're a good guy.
Yeah. So let's go get drunk and.
So you can forget about everyone you know and love dying.
Yeah, just don't think about it. I mean, I could see that being a thing, but anyway. Then Dany makes her like WWE WrestleMania entrance.
Yeah. The only way to do it.
The only way. Yeah. I mean, if you have a dragon, flaunt it. I mean, come on now. Come on now. I mean, like, I think we knew. Obviously, when Dany wasn't there, and she's like, she'll be here in a minute. It's like, okay, she's gonna come in as a dragon, but it was still awesome.
Yeah. They made sure to point out, you ever seen the shot? Yes, both dragons are there. All of them are supposed to be there.
Right.
Yeah. And then, obviously, Cersei mentioned later, it's like, did you notice there are only 2 dragons?
Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Yeah, and that was like keen observation on Cersei's part. It might have almost even been like smarter for Dany to just bring the one to be like, I was just.
I was wondering if they're gonna do that because obviously, she's gonna come on a dragon. It's like, is she just gonna bring Drogon or is she gonna bring both?
So that you wouldn't know that she'd be like, the other 2 must just be at home. Yeah. So.
But as far as being smart, probably smart to bring both just in case Cersei does betray you.
Protection. Yeah, like. Taking the showboating off of it, just protection wise, because I mean, like, you have the army, but the dragons can attack right there. Like the army has to breach the walls to get in. So that's the thing. So Dany gets there, And we have Euron just being Euron, being his like annoying self.
Mm-hmm. Like peace.
Yeah, I love how he was like, as soon as he saw the white, he was like, "Deuces, I'm out."
Well, I mean, we found out later it's part of Cersei's plan.
Yeah. Well, and I do wonder about that. It was like I take it that like, correct me if I'm wrong, because we only watched this once or whatever, and obviously we didn't know at the time that this was going to happen. I took it that he actually, like, at that moment, that was real. Like, he was like, I'm getting out of here, and it's that Cersei talked them into it afterwards, because there's no way Cersei would have known, like, what was about to happen with them bringing the white out there, and that Euron would... Am I wrong?
I see what you're saying, but Cersei did the whole thing of, like, no one walks away from me, so if you know, Euron was walking away, like, seriously, then Cersei talking to him later, she may not let him leave the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be either way.
Yeah, it could be. Either way, it's the same outcome. It's not all that important either way. But.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because why would he necessarily have to leave right there? Why not just wait till afterwards?
Yeah.
It'll make a big thing, but I guess it's to get Dany and Jon off guard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does make... It's a big statement for him being like, I am out of here, so they think that he's gone. So they're not...
Cersei's whole... sea fleet or whatever is gone, but then in truth he's not, and he's bringing a bunch more
people. So, and Dany and Jon probably aren't thinking about that at all, because they just assume, okay, well, Euron's out, Euron's gone.
We can't exactly blame him.
no, yeah, I mean, it seemed real to me when he was like, nope, I'm done with this. But so when they showed the white to Cersei, I thought that was crazy too. When it just whatever they do to make those things look the way they do, they just look creepy as heck. And it's just running straight at Cersei, and I'm like, they have some chain on here? Like, what if it just jumps and, like, kills Cersei? I didn't think it was going to happen, but I was like, just...
Then you look at the hound, it's like, and then it kills Cersei, and then you go back to the hound, it's like, whoops.
Yeah. Well, apparently the chain was just like the hound had it in his hand. It wasn't even, like, tied. I thought it was going to be, like, tied to the crate or something. What if the hound slipped? What if the hound just, like, accidentally...
Well, if it was tied to the crate,
the crate would just say, yeah. But I was like, what if the hound just accidentally slipped, it kills Cersei, and then they all just stare at each other like,
go the game ball!
Yeah, that's probably what would ensue, as well as everyone we know dying.
I mean...
So everyone's fate, like, rested in the hounds not having sweaty hands, basically.
I mean, yeah. That's usually the way it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So what did you think about this whole thing, the whole like culmination of this plot that I think we both thought was kind of like seemed dumb, the whole series, the whole like back half of the season about like, let's go get a white and show it to Cersei, or it just seemed weird at least.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, how do you think about how it ended? Because I'm a little more satisfied now.
Yeah, I mean, I understand they need to get a way to get Cersei on her side, and getting a white is like the best way to do it, but you kind of think that's like, this is a dumb plan.
It was. In a lot of ways, you're assuming a lot, and you're just hoping, you're crossing your fingers for a lot there.
Yeah.
That Cersei, even if you convince her there's an army of the dead, that she's not just going to take advantage of that, like she obviously still is.
But at the same time, you have to... they obviously are willing to take risk. And I guess the only way to convince her is to show her in person. Yeah.
And it's another one of those, like I'm going to be saying a lot, I don't necessarily like how we got here. And like the plan was just weird, and how much was like sacrificed to get this plan to work. But I really liked the scene, and it was powerful to see like the look on Cersei's face when, she was looking at, like, this white, and I've never seen Cersei, like, in shock like that.
Yeah.
Cersei's always just so, like, stone-faced, doesn't really show emotion, besides anger.
Well, that's that when her children die.
Yeah. Sadness for the many times her children has died, and anger over everyone.
Yes.
But very rarely, like, fear. Like, you saw fear in Cersei's eyes, which you do not see often.
Also, this whole thing when people walking up or something, it's, like, so hype, it's like, all these characters we've been watching for years are coming together and meeting. A lot of them meeting for the first time or reuniting after a while.
Yeah.
Like Daenerys meeting Cersei for the first time after all this time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
and it was really good and amazing acting all around. So then obviously Cersei concedes that this is something that needs to happen, and her only condition is that Jon stays out of this.
Yeah.
And Jon, like Ned Stark reborn, is honorable to a fault and refuses. And I love this. I love this so much from a writing standpoint because that is Ned Stark.
Yeah.
Like, that is 100,000% Ned Stark.
Yeah, it's like, you're stupid, but it's in character. And this is...
And it's one of those Game of Thrones, that's a whole big theme of Game of Thrones, is being honorable and doing the right thing, like morally and everything, is not always the right choice. Yeah. And Jon in the books and in the show and everything is just so much like his father, even more than
his uncle.
The father who raised him than even any of the other Stark children.
Ned is the father to Jon, like Ned's the father to Theon, as Jon mentions later.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they're technically both of them. It's like he's actually neither of their fathers, biologically, but raised them. But just like you said, you don't have to think about it. You're both this, Ned will always be Jon's father, no matter what.
No, Theon's going to give the speech next season to Jon, be like, no, you're a Targaryen and a Stark.
You don't have to choose Jon. He's like, wait a minute, you can't use that on me. I already said that.
It's like a wise man once told me.
I hope. That would be funny.
But then instead of Targaryen, he says Greyjoy. Like, wait.
Another twist. It was actually Balon was his father.
Euron's actually his father.
Oh, God. No. Plus no. But do you agree with me about this whole plot? Like, I thought that was perfect. That was just the perfect thing to happen, and even.
Go
ahead.
I was saying, then it led to, I think we mentioned earlier, is one of our favorite scenes.
Yes, with Tyrion, and this was another one where I was like, Tyrion, you are like killing it with the stupid plans.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna march straight in there and talk to her, and I'm like, it's probably the right thing to do, but boy, is it kind of risky and dumb. It was like Tyrion every plan he's done this season has had a tinge of stupidity.
Hey, and in his defense, in this case, it's because someone screwed up his original plan.
Basically, he's like, Jon, let me go clean your mess. Basically,
yes,
yeah. So, do you want to just get into that?
Yeah.
All right. This, as I already said before, I'll have to stew on it, but probably like one of my favorite scenes in probably multiple seasons in a row.
Yeah.
It was just because this is another thing that's just been building up for so long between Cersei and Tyrion, and to see, like, especially like I said over and over, Lena Headey's an insanely amazing actress, and like whenever she's like, Tyrion, every time he tries to apologize about her children, she like flares up. And especially that one time when she's like, I will not have it. And then she just kind of like breaks and yells. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I really started feeling it. I had goosebumps basically that entire conversation. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you?
Yep. I'm not going to express my thoughts.
I know, Jeff. I know.
It's supposed to mean.
Because I'm talking loud.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, both of them. And it's just, and even Peter Dinklage, like, even like he starts to like tear up and he starts to like well up and stuff, and I feel like that's something that a lot of like even other movies and stuff like that you don't see, like kind of like people break down like that in conversation. Yeah. Even in the middle of like sentences, he was like starting to like tear up and like starting to like get choked up and stuff, and it made the whole thing feel like it felt like a real conversation that was happening, and you could tell these two, like, they're still siblings, and that's why she almost killed him, but then held back. And you gotta think that some level of her holding back.
And Tyrion like saying, I loved your children, and you know it. Yeah, and that kind of probably helped his case.
And like she stops and like she knows it. She really like deep down knows.
Except for Joffrey, but who did love him?
Well, no one loves Joffrey. Yeah, she is literally the only person in the world who loves Joffrey. His father doesn't love him. No one loved Joffrey. Yeah, and it's powerful, and like that's why Cersei is just such an interesting character to me, because no matter how vile and evil and how much we hate her, because we do and we're supposed to, you know why she got to where she is.
Yeah.
And you know why she's as messed up as she is, and why she, like, doesn't care about anyone but herself. Because she's had a pretty crappy life, for the most part. And had a lot of bad things happen to her. A lot of them she brought on herself. But she has a lot of, like, deep-seated emotions and resentment towards a lot of people and stuff. And I feel like it comes out very well in this.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like, when they cut off of there, and then it came back, and obviously she planned. I still want to know, like, what exactly did Tyrion say? I thought we were gonna, like, hear something more, afterwards. I thought they were gonna be like, there was gonna be a scene where Dany was like, "So what did you say to her?" And he was gonna explain it, but that kind
of some kind of wisecrack,
huh?
Or some kind of wisecrack,
yeah, or something about that. Just like, yeah, how the heck did you manage? Did you pull this off? But we're kind of left like a little bit in the dark about that.
Yeah.
But ultimately it kind of doesn't matter because Cersei is Cersei.
Yeah.
And she ain't letting that happen anyway.
Nope.
So do we have anything more of this meeting?
Again, very nice to see all these characters together. And when we need to talk about, like, seeing Jaime and Brienne talk again.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
And I think Brienne talking to Jaime, what she said, may have pushed Jaime a little into, be like, "Yo, Cersei, bye."
Yeah, you have to think, like, there's a lot of things that kind of just probably, like, notch a few things off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Jaime. It probably started back with Olenna telling him that Tyrion wasn't the one that killed Joffrey. That was probably, like, the first strike. And then meeting with Tyrion was probably another one. And then, like, Brienne talking to him was another one. And then Cersei doing this was, like, the final straw.
Yeah.
Which makes me happy because maybe we'll finally actually get the full circle of Jaime's redemption arc. Jaime has been on, like, the rockiest of redemption arcs known to man, because, like, he was in season 1 he was basically, like, one of the villains, and then he started to get good, and then he kind of went back to Cersei. Yeah, but then we also still kind of like him. But he also does crappy things, and it's just like...
But all it has to do with for some reason, him being loyal to Cersei.
Yeah. I mean, all of it's tied to Cersei. All of the negative things about Jaime, all the, like, evil things about Jaime.
Him breaking away from her will just make us like him more.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, it's not surprising that that's the case,
No. When I like it, Brienne's even, like, talk to her, he's like, and say what? It's like, because it's so far out of Jaime's control.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing he could do is break away from her. And he was almost not able to do that because she almost didn't let him go.
He called her bluff.
He did. She tried to kill, like, both. She almost killed both of her brothers this episode.
I was like, I'm going to kill Lannister today. So it's like, oh.
Still yet to see the mountain in action. That was the end of season 5. We've seen him, like, slam some no-name dude's head into a wall. It's about the most we've seen.
Yeah. It takes a lot of... I mean, it takes more CG to do that than the Dragon's Derby, obviously. That's the only possible explanation.
I don't know. I've seen Game of Thrones smash a lot of heads. It must not be that hard.
But zombie smashing heads. A giant zombie.
I guess
We've seen giants do it, but a giant zombie.
I guess I'll give you that.
Completely different.
I'll give you that. All right, well, let's move on past this. Even though I said that whole thing, I expected to be disappointed in something with all those. Like, there was just too much that the show had to handle with all that. I expected them to falter somewhere, but I really don't think they did. It was all very, very strong. Yeah, sure. Let's go. So, kind of like the where this leads is Jaime. I mean, Jaime just completely, like, didn't see what Cersei was doing. Like, he thought that...
Yeah, so Jaime's talking to some of his soldiers, be like, "Yo, let's go. We're going north." Cersei's like, "No, we're not."
So you actually believe...
What? Wait, are you stupid?
You actually thought I was going to be a good person for once?
He's like, "Wait, what?
How could you be so foolish?"
You literally saw an undead soldier trying to kill you.
Yeah. And this, once again, shows just how kind of delusional Cersei is. Because, I mean, Jaime's right. He's like, yeah, someone's going to win up there, and either one wants to kill us.
Yeah.
Regardless of who wins, they're going to try to kill us. Mm-hmm. And their army is, like, depleted. Obviously, like, Cersei corrected that.
I'll say, I'll give it to Cersei. At least Jon and Daenerys win, their armies will be greatly depleted if they happen to win. But that's a chance you're willing to take.
Well, and that's what's kind of even more powerful. That's when it became like at first, like Jaime protesting to Cersei is kind of just on a like we are going to die if this happens. But then like Cersei's like no we're not because we still have enough men. So when you put the Golden Company on the table, then if you're just thinking like our goal is to survive and to win this war, then yeah, the best option would be to let Dany and Jon go fight the White Walkers and you hang back. But I like that, like that's the moment when Cersei put there, like, no, we could still do what I'm saying and survive, and Jaime still said no. Yeah. Because that's when it got to Jaime, it was emotion. It was, like, personal to Jaime. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about survival anymore. It was about, you are a bad person, and this is messed up, and I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And I like how that was built. Like, it started on, like, you know, Jaime had a good argument. They took his army away from him, and he still was like, nope.
Yeah.
Peace. Really good scene again.
And then he just leaves on his own.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess like he doesn't have the army at all. I was wondering like when he walked away because he said I'm still going to march south, and he was talking to all those. I was wondering if he was going to take some of the army with him, but he looks like it was just him and a horse.
Yeah. Well, he validated it. The army is loyal to Cersei technically.
Right, but I didn't know if he was going to let's defect.
Yeah.
Like take some of her army away.
Well, trying to do that will probably get him killed faster.
Probably. So it's interesting, I guess. Like going on from that, is Jaime gonna just like where are we gonna see Jaime? Like where is Jaime gonna turn up next season?
I assume he's gonna start up at Winterfell.
And I mean, and I wonder how he's going to be greeted. You know, everyone hates him. Like everyone in that entire Trek hates him. He's
as long as Brienne's there.
That would help. Yeah,
that
would help.
Brienne can vouch for him.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, he cool.
Yeah. He's going to need something like that because like it's going to take a lot for people to trust that he's actually on their side and not trying to backstab them in some way. Because it's obviously not going to take them long to realize that Cersei's going back on her word. All you're going to have to do is be like, where are the Lannister men? They're not here.
Well, Jaime like, yeah, they're not coming. I'm the only one.
So, yeah.
And I only have one hand.
Yeah, I have one hand, so I don't know how much help I'll be. Well, military commander-wise, he could be a lot of help. I mean, Jaime could still be a very valuable ally.
But, yeah, I guess he can help, but still they're fighting an army of the undead.
He could help with like, just where to station men and where to do stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jaime Lannister could still be of use.
Yeah.
And it'll be, like, we might be seeing Jaime and Tyrion on the same side, which is cool. It's great.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I love that. It's going to be awesome to see them actually.
Unless halfway through the first episode, Jaime's like, what am I doing? Turns around to Cersei. We're like, what are you doing?
Jaime switches sides to the White Walkers.
Yep.
While he's still alive. He's like, no. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, do you have anything else on this? I didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
At all.
I did worry that Cersei was going to tell Mountain to kill him. I was like, oh, part of my thought process was, okay, we saw her do this already with the brother she hates.
Yeah.
Are they going to do this twice in a row?
I was thinking, like, yeah, she already pulled back once. Is this the one that she does? Yeah. And, like, if you had, like, paused it right there and been like, what are the % odds? I probably would have leaned towards she does it.
Yeah.
I probably would have leaned towards she's going to actually kill him.
I mean, again, and like we mentioned earlier, she says yes, but Jane's like, I don't believe you. Walks away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially when she nodded. I was like, oh, God. Like, and it was just, like, hanging on Jaime's face. I was just waiting for the sword to just come out. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was tense. Yeah. Just like so many things in this episode. It was very tense, and I was, like, very on edge watching it. So, well done. Mm-hmm. Very much well done. All right, Jeff. Okay. Are we ready to move? Well, all right, first.
Well, go to a little less tense thing real quick.
A little less tense thing. So, battle plan at Dragonstone. They're talking about it. They're full-fledged on the same side, Dany and Jon going here. They're talking about, like, how they should proceed going to the north and everything.
It's like, all those people, Winterfell.
And Jorah's like, you should fly up north or whatever. And then Dany's like, well, if I fly up north, how am I going to have sex with Jon?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't think I don't think she said that, but I mean,
it was implied.
You know, it's that's what's going on in their head.
I mean, Joe had a good argument.
No, he had a very good argument, and I was worried that they were like, are they hinting that there's going to be some issue? Which I guess there still could be if they when they arrive in White Harbor or whatever. There could still be some issue with that, and it kind of ties to like, you know, they keep talking like, oh yeah, we'll have the Northmen with Dany, like that decision's been completely finalized, when Jon's really the only one who has given the okay to that, and the Northmen already kind of don't like Jon anymore, and they're kind of already like liking Sansa more. So I'm just saying, like, I think once it comes to it, and there's like White Walkers, which obviously we've seen, they're coming south. I think that stuff's gonna at least temporarily be thrown out the window. I'm just saying, like, Jon is very bad at communicating, so.
Well, I mean, the thing about that is that obviously I get what you're saying, but it'd make more sense if Sansa was before the whole Littlefinger thing.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like Sansa was just leading Littlefinger on and just kind of going with what he was saying to entrap him. But now, I guess we technically don't know what side Sansa's on as far as if she's going to try to take over the North, you know, like she has, or she's just going to, you know, keep it Jon. Yeah. But since she's teaming up with Arya, I assume she's still gonna let Jon run things.
I think so too. I still you have to assume. I don't think she's gonna like that Jon bent the knee to Daenerys, but maybe once she meets Daenerys, that might change. Like she might, you know, she might cool down on it some. I'm interested what the Northmen think about that. You know, they hate Targaryens. That's going to take some convincing. But if Jon and Sansa both, like, if Sansa gives her word, at this point it seems like the Northmen are more behind her than Jon, so that might be enough for them. They'll be like, okay, you know.
They're like, down with the Starks.
And again, like I said, they might not have enough time to be mad about Daenerys because there's a horde of ice zombies coming, like, south towards them. So
I mean, I can change people's minds.
There's no quick. Time for that.
No time to whine.
No time at all. Well, speaking of Winterfell.
Yep.
So, Littlefinger. Alright, first, like, Littlefinger and Sansa. I want to rewatch this to see to see what exactly was said, and to see if, like, was Sansa leading him on, like, from the beginning of that scene? Like, was she getting him to say incriminating stuff? Or was that, like, before she talked to Bran and, like, figured this all out and everything? Like, you know, I'd want to know, like, because, like, whenever she was talking to Littlefinger, I was like, oh god, like, he's really getting to her, you know.
I would figure she was already talking to Arya and Bran.
That's what I would figure. I'm just saying, like, at that time we didn't know the knowledge, so I would like to listen to, like, the exact words to see if, like, there's some clue, like, to see if she was, like, like, to see, like, what exactly he said that might have been incriminating, like, how she was, like, pulling him out. It's one of those things, like, in hindsight, now you want to rewatch it and see. You know?
Yeah, and this is what I'm thinking, and rewatching it might completely destroy my theory that, Arya and Bran told her this stuff, but she kind of believed, but wasn't completely sure.
Yeah.
But, so she led him to tried to lure him into trying to, for Littlefinger to say, to tear Sansa and Arya apart, to make...
Yes. Well, and I can see it definitely, like, Bran could have told Sansa and Arya that, like, Littlefinger planted that letter in there and did all that. And then Sansa, talking to him, was like, and why would she have found that letter? And he said that, and it's like, nope, gotcha, you're the one that put that letter. She found it because of you, and he didn't say it, you know.
Yeah.
So, in hindsight, it's like, it's cool. Like,
I mean, it's one of those things. I guess not all of it was explained, how they exactly all got on the same side, or how they learned all this.
Because I guess the show couldn't explain it too much because they wanted that twist. We couldn't know too much because then we would have predicted that they wanted the twist of, you know, they're talking to Littlefinger, not Arya.
Yeah.
And, like, I get it. I mean, it's one of those, like, maybe it doesn't make complete sense, like, just talking wise or whatever, but it makes for a good storyline and, like, a cool twist to see.
But boy, they explained it all afterward. I mean, it all comes down to, at least as far as, like, especially him betraying Ned thing, like, Yeah, until you had Raven, I saw everything.
Yeah. So does this? I'm interested to hear. Like, does this scene and this like conclusion? Like, do you think this is a good wrap up for like all the weird like tension we've seen between Arya and Sansa and Littlefinger being weird all season? Do you think this is a satisfying like wrap up?
I think it's satisfying, but I feel like they stretched it out just so it'd be in the season finale. I feel like they could have done this, you know, more condensed.
Yeah, or maybe like don't show as much of it and just kind of like maybe give it a rest for a few episodes and then show it again.
Because, like I said before, feels so separated from everything else in a way.
It does, and we've gotten like surprisingly a lot of Littlefinger this like every episode. There's some weird Littlefinger being weird, you know, thing.
And yeah, though it does make me to think like an overall plot thing. Well, okay, well, never mind. Littlefinger obviously did stuff in the past, but I don't know. I was trying to think, what was Littlefinger's point at this point?
What's Littlefinger's what?
Like, point of his character at this just maybe to get Art and Sansa together, let Sansa grow, because it feels like...
Well, there's kind of less of a point to him, and that's probably why he's dead now.
Yeah. Obviously, there was a point in the beginning of the series, but it seems like there was lesser a point, and
Right, yeah.
He was just kind of a plot device.
Yeah, basically. But this was a very fitting end for Littlefinger to like get caught up in his own web of lies and to be left bleeding out in the hall in Winterfell when his whole life he's been like he's wanted to be a Stark, or he's like been manipulating the Starks, and you know, like with Ned and everything. And the whole time he won Catelyn, he wanted to be in Ned's place basically this whole time, and he's just been done horrible things to try to make this happen and tormented this family just because he didn't have what he wanted as a child, and it's a fitting end to die from the Stark children and in Winterfell. I think it's a very poetic and fitting end. And yeah, like maybe, like if I rewatch season 7, like the whole like road to get here again, like I've been saying over and over again, with this whole plot line is probably, especially in hindsight, gonna feel really tedious.
Yeah.
But this final like end of it, I liked.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really cool to see Littlefinger go down. Again, good acting, because you just see him get more and more desperate. It's like he's trying to explain himself, and he's explaining himself more, but not even making any sense. And then eventually he's just like begging.
He goes to Vale Doom and be like, yo, take me out. He's like, no.
Which the Vale Doom's like, I've been looking for a reason to not go with you anyway, to not go along with you. And I finally have one. You know.
Yep.
So, again, didn't like the road to get here. Loved the ending. So,
yes.
Yeah. And Sansa and Arya are buddies again.
Yep.
Which, that's going to make people really happy, because that's one of the biggest complaints people had like last episode. They're like, why? Why are we doing that? And I was worried.
It's all part of their plan.
I was worried that one of them was going to kill the other. And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Give me some happiness.
Yeah, I guess one thing out of the storyline, in hindsight, the ending is obvious, but throughout the whole thing, it's like, how is this gonna go? Who's gonna die?
I guess props to the show for, as weird as the storyline might have been at times, they did manage to, like, because this is something we've been predicting from the beginning of the season, but they managed to make us go away from that prediction and start to think something else might happen. So that's good, since they obviously knew from the start this is where we're going to end up. But they're like, it's kind of boring if everyone just knows this is where it's going to end up. So they had to find a way to make you doubt yourself. Yeah. And they did it. They managed to, because I was legitimately worried for Sansa and Arya at times. So props to that. Nothing to do.
Yep.
In the end, it wrapped it up good. All right, well, let's move on. This will be faster to Theon and Jon. Another great scene between them. And I'm glad it's a lot of these like old grudges. I'm glad to see it kind of get resolved here. Because, again, we have seen Theon go through so much that we've gone from hating him to feeling sorry for him. But it's understandable that other characters like Jon haven't.
Yeah.
Because Jon didn't see everything he went through, and it was like Jon, like he killed people Jon grew up with. And I also like that it's not like Jon's like, nope, I forgive you for everything, we're good now.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's things I'm never gonna be able to forgive you for.
Well, I mean, I guess kind of. He pretty much says, there's stuff that other people can only forgive you for, but I'll forgive you for what I can.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, it's not like I don't think John. Like, I don't think that John right now could like see Theon and be like, buddy, let's be happy all the time. Mm-hmm. But he's like,
not everything's good, but we're better.
Yeah, he's like, but I understand that you legitimately feel bad for what you've done, and you legitimately like you wouldn't be talking to me right now, basically, if you weren't, if you had some ulterior motive or something. So, you know, I thought that was a good, realistic, and respectful conversation between them. Then we have Fight Club.
Yep.
With the so what did you like? What did you think about this scene? I was like,
I found it funny when he tried to kick Theon in the balls.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
And Theon started smiling like,
got you. Was it? Wait, does he really not know? I thought everyone knew. Or he just didn't think about it.
I guess I didn't know the extent.
Yeah, it was like, oh, does it not hurt anymore?
Like, what? Is he technically superhuman? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, everyone's on Theon's side. All he has to do is beat someone up.
Yep. I mean, that's how the Ironborn work. It's in character.
Yeah.
That's how they're all about strength.
Yep. I was wondering if they were going to try to save Yara this episode or do more towards that.
Yeah, I wondered, like, when they had that in the previously on, they showed that. I was like, are we gonna? And with how fast the season's been moving, I was like, are we gonna get like the whole
80
plot?
Minutes, yeah.
Are we gonna get like that whole plot? But no, it seems like that's gonna be saved for season 8. Like, I wonder what they're gonna do. They're not very many people, but Euron's busy. Euron's busy doing that.
Yeah,
it depends on where Yara's being kept.
I will say, it depends on Yara is. Theon could be what messes up Euron and Cersei's plan to bring the Iron Bank soldiers over.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I'm just, spitballing.
Him with his dozen men.
Yeah. There's another one that's gonna feel storyline that might feel weird next season. Like, everyone's in White Walker mode, and then Theon saving his sister.
Let's go look at the Greyjoys. It's like, what? Especially when there's only 6 episodes. It's gonna be like, huh.
This is honestly probably going to be, I can see it now, especially, the pace. This is going to be like the last 20 or whatever minutes of the first episode.
Probably.
A big battle.
Let's get this out of the way.
I'd be fine with that.
I would do.
Yeah.
But I think they've obviously, they've shown a way that this is going to tie into the, at least the Cersei, political side of the end game. Yeah. Because Euron's bringing the Golden Company back. I think you're right. I think that's obviously... because if not, it would be like, well, it's weird that we're focusing so much. We're focusing on Theon saving Yara if it doesn't matter. So I think it's obviously going to matter when it comes to the Golden Company, whether it stops them from coming, or they get damaged somehow, or something. I can't really think about it.
Okay, prediction time.
Go for it.
Or we'll see what you think. Is Theon gonna die saving Yara? This is what it's gonna lead to.
Good chance.
Yes, I think because. It always comes up, he's a coward. He's going to be brave, but he's going to die. Yeah. But he's going to save Yara.
And Yara could end up being the one who goes forward and does maybe kills Euron. Theon dies saving Yara, and Yara kills Theon. And maybe again the Greyjoys are all about strength. If Yara managed to kill Euron, will they just start fighting for her? Will Euron's fleet go on her side? She's the new captain now.
Probably.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And it could, the end of this could be, Yara's sailing his, awesome ship.
Yeah. With the way this is setting up, I just have trouble imagining Theon living through this.
It seems like it would be fitting for him to die.
Yeah.
Like
I said, especially this episode kind of hit it, him acting like a coward.
Mm.
So
I'm just so happy that we're getting... We're actually going to probably see Theon.
We're getting the end of his redemption arc,
and I'm glad
because me and you were of the correct me if I'm remembering your opinion wrong. We were always on the opinion we understood why he jumped off, it was in his character.
I thought that was another great writing point where people were like, "Damn it, Theon!" Or whatever. I was like, "No, he's a broken dude, and this is what he would do."
I'm forgetting his name, Theon's actor's name.
Alfie Allen.
Yeah, Alfie Allen. Remember the Alfie part. I can remember the last thing. Yeah. I've always found it like him so good. He always shows how good he's able to show like the little stuff, like Theon being a little skittish. Like you see just little, I guess, little twitches that like it fits what Theon is at this point.
I think
it's so good.
It doesn't like this. Maybe people don't think about this because he's not in the show as much. I think Alfie Allen is the best actor on the show, like on the entire thing.
I'd put him up there for sure.
I think it's definitely he's at least in the the top, like in the conversation for the top because. Again, this was a character that we hated him.
Yeah. And
he managed, I think, if you had someone who didn't act as well as him, this could be something where we still hate him. Like, they tried, they want us to feel sympathy for him, but we don't.
But if there was a lesser actor, he would just seem like a whiny bitch.
Right.
But Alfie, plays it really well that Theon is broken.
Yeah, and he does, and you believe it. You really believe. Like him talking to Jon, he like won't look him in the eye, and he'll do this and stuff. And it's gonna be so freaking rewarding to see him actually, like you said, be brave.
Yeah.
And to end this, even if he dies, like I hope he dies fighting like that, because that would just be the perfect end cap to this. It would be the perfect end cap. And just like Yara tried to save him, you know, like it goes. Full circle, as they say. All right, Jeff. Well, we are like running out of time, and we have a very big topic to talk about.
Kind of two in a way.
Two big topics. This might be a long recap episode. I hope you're cool.
It's the season finale.
Hope you're cool with that, Jeff. I hope you're cool with that, listeners. Let's do it, though.
Okay.
Jeff.
Darby.
It is confirmed. It's out there.
What?
Jon is not a Stark.
Whoa. This is news to me.
I know, it's crazy. I know.
I mean, technically a Stark. Still.
Yeah, like, as we said before. Whatever. Yeah. But he is also not Jon, though. He is Aegon Targaryen.
Whoa.
I like that it was like Sam and Bran knowledge team up.
Yeah.
And there's like, I know this. Oh, but I know this. Let's piece them together, and boom.
Yep. It's like, I know his parents. But he's still a bastard. And it's like, wait.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
And that was, I like that we actually got to see them, like, Bran going back. I thought it was just going to be, like, them talking about it, and then we actually saw it.
It's like,
Bran.
Yeah, can you go look back? He's like, hey, give me 1 second. Yep.
You right.
It checks out.
Yeah, so Bran can know everything, he just doesn't know where to look. So
which is fair.
Yeah, it's fair. But I like that. I mean, I guess he can control it. Just Sam, like, just go back. He's like, okay, hold on, let me just flip through. Oh, dang. Yeah. Oh, dang. So I'm sure people. It's one of those things. It's weird. We've known this for so long, but for some reason, it's still just so satisfying to actually have it confirmed and to see it.
I wonder how many people this is the first time them actually learning it.
I looked on I was looking at Facebook comments. There's a decent amount of people that were like, "What? Jon's a Targaryen?
How?"
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand.
That's literally I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know we look more into this stuff. That's literally the most popular theory for as long as Game of Thrones has been going on.
If you look at anything outside of just the show, you just talk to anyone, I feel like this has to have come up. Even if you didn't know it was 100% for sure, how are you floored by this? I just don't know how that's possible.
I guess until last season or whatever, we didn't know 100%. But
Yeah,
but we were like 99% sure.
And once they started going down this route in the show, it's like, yep.
We know for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, they confirm it while Jon and Daenerys are...
Yeah, so, not... I've wondered, I've wondered even long before they started doing the Jon and Daenerys romance in this season. That's been something we thought might be coming. It's been a theory.
Still don't like it.
I still don't like it either. But
take the instant out of it. Still don't like it.
I agree. But I've always wondered. It's like obviously people want it because I think people are just conditioned to want the two protagonists to get together, regardless of any other thing. They're programmed to want that. They're not even thinking about the incest.
Like a Supernatural.
Exactly. And so I've wondered how they're gonna it's like they're getting together, but it's incest. I thought people would be weirded out by that. Apparently not. Everyone just wants it. Not only is it something that they're not having to skirt away, they literally have the voiceover saying that it's incest happening while we're seeing them have sex.
I mean, yeah.
And everyone's gonna eat it up. It's so weird to me. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. And the weird thing to me is like, not the Jon and Daenerys specifically having sex, but like this sort of plot where it's like they don't know that this is that what they're doing is maybe wrong, like incest wise, like wrong that they're doing this. They don't know it, but they're doing it anyway, and that's just a sad fact of this. That's kind of a George R. R. Martin thing. That's like something that makes sense in the books, but in a popular TV show, like the most popular TV show that my mom is watching and stuff, my grandpa is watching, it's just kind of
Kelly.
It's weird to me that it's like, yep, total incest, and you're, I don't know.
And I mean, I think part of the reason people weren't okay with it in this show specifically because we've had it since the very first episode.
Yeah. But it's been with like kind of the villains in a way.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean, Jaime's not completely, but I don't know. Either way, it's weird. This is another one of those. I mean, it's another one of those kind of like last week when they had their whole "What about my queen?" scene. There was like I was saying, there is a universe out there. As much as I don't like the Jon and Daenerys like relationship thing, there's a universe out there where I would have felt something if it had been built up right.
Yeah.
But it was built up so fast and so clumsily that like I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I still hate it, but the way this was shot with the voiceover and the music and Tyrion's like kind of like just troubled look like he understands what's going on and kind of like the dark side to it. It's like, what's going to be the consequence of this and everything. Yeah. I did like it. Like I liked the way the scene went. I don't like that they're together, but I thought it was shot and done really well.
Yeah, I guess you can make for interesting character drama. The whole thing. Well, but of course for the reveal of like. Again, they're like, oh, we're related. Well, yeah. But then the whole thing of the fact we've talked about many times. Everyone's talked about many times who's known this theory that, and Bran said it pretty clear. Jon is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
Right.
So how's that going to change Daenerys and Jon's dynamic?
And I
mean, we've all said Jon probably won't care, but it will always be at the back of Daenerys' mind.
Exactly.
That's been her whole thing all the time. I am the rightful heir.
Yeah. Oh, and if you go, it's weird if you go back like to like the first few episodes of this podcast that we were doing for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was like back whenever Jon and Daenerys were not a romantic item, I was saying that like if Daenerys finds out about this, she might kill him just because like he's a threat. But now it complicates it a lot more when they probably are in love and maybe even having a child.
Who knows?
And stuff. But I do like... Sorry, like I just wanted to say this before I forget about it. Again, part of like me liking the scene is also wrapped up in the like Rhaegar and Lyanna getting together. It's kind of this like fairy tale, almost romantic thing that like they ran away together and did this or whatever. But in truth, that's what started all of this, and that's what started Robert's Rebellion. That's like them loving each other and stuff and doing that. That's like what started Robert's Rebellion to begin with, and like so many people died because they did this. So it was really kind of a foolish and dark thing that happened from them loving each other. And I like the kind of parallel between that and then Dany and Jon, because not saying that this will necessarily lead to dark things, but it could. You know, they're kind of like falling in love and like going headlong into this, not knowing how it's going to impact the world, because they're very powerful people doing this, just like Rhaegar and Lyanna were. So it's, I like the like kind of parallel there between them.
Just going back to the whole, you felt the thing about is Daenerys pregnant thing. We talked about beforehand why we think that could be the case, potentially. They kept on bringing up, or Daenerys kept on, like, this episode and last episode, I can't get pregnant. That normally means something.
They've said it too many times.
Yeah, to where it doesn't,
You say it 3 times and it becomes...
And then Jon says, well, should you listen to that witch, or should you take her advice?
Yeah, she might not be the most reliable source.
Yeah.
So there's hints.
Yeah.
Like... It could be a misdirection.
Could be.
But, I don't know.
We'll find out in 2019.
If you make me guess, I'm going to guess that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
If I had to, like, put a prediction down.
I mean, again, like what we said in the she kept on bringing it up. the thing of the air keeps on coming up the last couple episodes. So yeah.
And even Jorah was like, "No, keep the sword and give it to your children." They even talked about John's children with that. Last episode. Yeah. Too many hints.
Yeah.
Too many hints. Better not be. It's interesting. I'm glad that I'm not ready, and I will never be ready to say that I like it, but I'm glad that at least the last like lingering message of like this whole Jon and Daenerys romance arc was a scene that I kind of liked, and like we're gonna have to deal with it, and like because this is the way we're going, is that they're romantic together. We're gonna have to like deal with that whether we like it or not, and I feel like this was a pretty good way for that to end, like to leave me on it. Like the scene was really good, and I kind of like the parallel between it. I like some of the things they're doing with it, and I like both of the characters. So I can make myself deal.
Okay.
Are you at a similar point?
Yeah, we just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, well,
happen no matter what.
Yep, it does. So, ready to move on
to the last
to
scene.
That end, Jeff.
Yes.
Okay. So that dragon, though.
That dragon.
That blue fire.
Yep.
I was interested, to see. We were all like, "Is it gonna shoot ice? Is it still just gonna be fire?" It's like kind of a mixture of both. It's blue fire, and it looked like badass. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it does raise the question. I guess we can't really tell from this. Is the color just changed, or it's a property of the flame that different as well?
Different, yeah.
Yeah. We may not find out till next time, if it is at all, but yeah.
Right. It's obviously still flame of some sort, because it like melted the wall down. Melted the wall. It was the CGI in that was crazy to see. A lot of people have predicted that we might see the wall come down at some point, but let me put it this way: me and about 1 million other people guessed that was going to be the last thing we see this season. Yeah, it's the obvious thing that they were coming north.
Obvious is not bad.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
and I feel like this was the proper way to end that, and it makes you hype for the next season. And we all knew that next season was going to be the real White Walker fight. You know, I think we all kind of knew that, because that's just it makes sense. It's hard to have too much after the White Walker fight. It's hard to have that this season and then have a whole nother season next one. It's
and they split between the seasons. Be like, this is going on too long. They got other stuff to deal with.
If the White Walker stuff just lasts for 2 full seasons, it might get to the point where it's like, all right.
Kind of it is, because John's at least storyline was all about it, but
at least the full-fledged White Walker fight. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's not much to say about this, plot-wise. It was more just the visual spectacle is crazy.
Yeah, I guess main thing talking about this, wall came down, they're going through, Blue Eyes White insert Yu-Gi-Oh! Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Of course.
And then Torment activated his trap card. Plot armor. Probably.
And Beric, probably. We didn't see him die either.
It was one of those things. We did not see him die. They're main character, so...
I mean, I guess there's a chance that they'll say, they really are dead, but I really feel like they would have shown them, falling or something. Because we saw them, and it just cut to the wall, falling down, and we didn't see them again.
Or if we see them as ice zombies.
Or that if their bodies would even be intact after that. Yeah, who knows? But we would have seen something, whether it was them sitting dead at the bottom of a thing, or we saw them falling and you just assume they're dead or something. I feel, or we see them burnt alive by the dragon.
But we didn't see anything. We just saw them looking in terror as the part of the wall that was, I guess, behind them in front of them, whatever was falling.
Yeah, and he was saying run. Yeah. So, I'm going to guess that they're going to be alive.
Yeah.
I guess they're going to be, behind the army of the dead. Because, they're moving past the wall. You got to imagine Tormund and Beric are probably standing on the wall. Are they just going to be like, well...
let's stay hiding for a little bit.
Yeah, I would be like, let's... If we're safe, if they're on that little patch of wall that was free, I'm going to sit here for a while.
Yep. It's did the ravens survive? Then they see blue-eyed ravens fly by. It's dang it.
But obviously, I think we were supposed to assume that those ravens that were when Bran, it was Bran, and then it went to that. I think Bran will know. Bran, I think Bran was controlling the ravens. Either way, he's
Bran knows.
Yeah,
that's obviously what he was doing. Yeah. He was watching that.
So I'm sure he's going to be sending those ravens out like, it's happening. It's showtime.
Yeah.
Let's go
We need something to John quick. I mean, but he knows where John is at least.
Yeah. So
he always knows.
It's a pretty epic way to end the season.
Yep.
In a very, very weird season. We will. We're not going to talk about like our full season thoughts because we're going to have a whole episode, another episode in our in your podcast feed, just talking about the whole thing, the season as a whole. But great ending.
Yep. Great way to end the season, and leave us with a positive. Thoughts.
I'm so glad that I'm able to leave season 7 on a positive note.
Yeah.
I think I'll talk about it, like, there was enough problems in season 7 as a whole to make me not be completely great positive about the whole thing as a full package. But at least this finale was great. Yeah. And gives me hope for, going forward. Whereas if you'd asked me last week, I would probably have a lot less hope about going forward. So, yeah. Happy about that. Well, Jeff, we're long anyway. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah. This is, again, great episode. Excited for the next season, whenever it might be. Whatever year it might be.
In a normal Game of Thrones episode, we would have like 3 more episodes right now.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been this long, Darby.
It wouldn't. In next episode, next season, whenever it happens, it sounds like it's going to be like lots of very long episodes.
Yeah,
so.
I would hope so.
Yeah, especially with
just go all out with the budget.
Yeah, if there's like 6 of them, then
yeah,
definitely. And hopefully less time traveling, because everything's probably going to be condensed to the north, at least at the beginning, like because they're fighting. Everyone's fighting these things, so less room to have people going all over the place.
Pretty much be us jumping from the north to King's Landing and seeing what Cersei's up to.
Probably, and maybe Essos with the Greyjoys.
Yeah, Greyjoys, King's Landing, and everyone in the north.
Yeah, I guess that's the only potential for time traveling.
I guess we can just say this for okay. It looks like everyone's heading north,
right?
Except for Cersei's in King's Landing, and then Theon's going after Euron, but we don't know exactly where he's going right now because we don't know how he knows where Euron is.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I guess he's going back to. He said he was going back to the Iron Islands. That's probably where he's going.
And I guess there's a chance that like Yara's just at the island, like that Euron just like left her at Pike or something, like defended by some men, and he might just go there.
I mean, that's probably where Theon's going, because that's where he said like Euron. I mean, that's where you guys heard Euron was going,
right?
So
cool. How are we gonna remember this stuff 2 years from now? I mean, we are gonna remember it, but it's gonna be like, God, it's not gonna feel fresh.
Well, once we get an idea, we can do a rewatch.
Yeah.
Of everything. And that might be a good thing to just rewatch everything before the final season.
I kind of want to watch. Like, I just randomly went back and like watched an episode in season 3, and it was so cool. And there's a lot of stuff I'd forgotten already, so I kind of want to watch it all again at some point. Anyway, it's not like we won't have time because
I'll probably try to do it at least closer to when we know about when it's going to be.
Yeah. Okay, it's still up in the air right now.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. Well, let's just skip highlights and lowlights. It's late. Okay. I need to get out of here. So thank you guys so much for joining us this whole season. It's been I've had a lot of fun with this, Jeff. I hope you have.
Too. Yep. Do more of these type things.
Yes, and let us know what you would like us to do these things on.
Yes.
We are looking to expand it. So one more Game of Thrones episode in your podcast feed. We'll probably have it sometime in the next week or so.
Yeah.
And might have some might have some special guests on here as well. So look forward to that. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, thank you very much. Time for bed.
Yep.